Hi everyone. Now we're going to look at the PubMed database, and we're going to take the search strategy that we created using Pico and we're going to put it into the PubMed database to find some articles. So there's different ways you can get to PubMed from the library's homepage. And remember to first log in through the library login before you start, which I'll do now. Okay, log in. So you can either go back to the home page. You can either go from the home page, find articles in PubMed. If you click here, type in a search, click search, you'll go to the PubMed homepage. You can also go to resources, scroll down, and you'll see a link to PubMed here. The third option is to go to the LibGuide that I created for this class. If you click on my name, you'll see EMSP here, and the first link is the PubMed link. So PubMed is a good database to start searching for literature. It has over 37 million citations for biomedical literature from Medline, life science journals, and online books. So if you're ever told to find Medline articles or search in Medline, PubMed is a way to search in Medline. Now, it's also free to search. So we've logged in through the library and we're going to get access through the university. However, if you're no longer have access through the university, you can still go to PubMed and search, and there are still some free articles. So some of the other databases we're going to look at are only accessible to even search if you have a login through an institution or a subscription. So PubMed would always be available to you to search. But because we're going through the library, today we want to start by going through the homepage, logging in, and then going to PubMed. So let's get started with our search strategy. Now I have it here laid out. What we're going to do is go piece by piece at first so that I can show you how PubMed works. And then we're going to put the whole search strategy together. So let's put in one term at a time for now. I'm just going to put in out of hospital cardiac arrest and click search. So this is the results page. And you can see that we have our search term up here, and our search term is in bold in the results. You can see on the left we've got some filters, which are quick ways to limit your search. But here by year, if you wanted to click and drag this, you could change the results by year. You could also choose an article type, publication date, say you wanted the past 10 years or 5 years, and there's additional filters you could add here to limit your search even more. So for example, article type, there's a lot more than what we see on the default. You can also limit by age. For example, if you wanted to do adult only or children only, if you click on those, it's going to now show those over here, and then you would check it to apply it to your search. But for now, we're just going to build our search without adding any filters. You can see that I have libkey Nomad downloaded, which is why these images are coming up and these links. If you don't have that downloaded, you can still get the full text, and I can show you how to do that. If you click on an article, you'll see there's an HSC link over here. So if you have libkey, you can certainly click on one of the download options here. If you don't, you can click on the HSC link, and it should also link through the library. And because we have a multiple parts search, more complicated than just one term, we're going to use the advanced search page. You can find that underneath the search box, and you can also find it on the home page underneath the search box. So it's called advanced, and you can see here that we can build a search. We've got some boxes here, and underneath we have our search and history and search details, where you can see what we've already searched. One thing I want to show you about this page is under this details, there's a little arrow. If you click down on that, it'll open up the translation. So this is how PubMed interpreted our search. And this is useful, especially if you're not getting the results you expected. So you can always look here and see how PubMed is interpreting your search terms. So now what we're going to do is add some of our other terms and then combine them all here in this advanced search page. So I've got my search terms here. We've got our acronym, you could either use the query box or the add fields. This one can be useful if you want to specify, say, a title or like a journal title or something, but you could also use this box. So either one would work, just don't do both, right? So if you use the top one, you click and it's just going to pop it up down here. And if you use this one, you can either click search or you can do add to history. You see I hovered over this down arrow, and then if I click add to history, it's going to just stay on this page. Whereas if I clicked search, it would go back to the search results page. But because we know we're going to build this search, we want to stay on this page for now. So now we have two terms. One's an acronym, so let's combine them with the actions buttons. So the first one, we're going to take these three dots, click on those, and click add query. And then under the second term, we're going to click the three dots, and this time we have a choice, add with and, or not. And because these are synonyms, we're going to use or, so it's going to look like this. Now if we add to history, it's going to come up down here. Now we can go ahead and add the other terms. So we already have an or in between these two terms, so we could just paste it in like this with our or in between, add to history, and then we'll get our results here. Check your details if you like. And you can see that it gives you this breakdown of translations, and this is sort of all of it together. And this is the breakdown of each term. So it found two different terms, you know, because we put or in between, and how it interpreted those two terms. And now let's put our final search string. Again, we've got the or in the middle already, so we can just use this box, add to history, and now we've got 1, 2, 3 search strings. We're going to combine, we've combined them with or because they were all the synonyms, and now we're going to use the actions button to combine them with and. So now we're going to use and in between the three concepts. So this is how it should look. I like to use the advanced search page. That way you don't confuse PubMed. See, it wants the parentheses in a certain place, and it's easier to use this advanced search page than to just manually type it in the search box. So now if I click add to history, you've got all three concepts combined with and these are our results. So if you want to look at the results, you can click here on the number, and you can see the results in the PubMed results screen. So this is the screen where you could add search filters. You could limit by date here by manually moving the date bar. You could scroll down to publication date and limit by the past 10 years or 5 years, 1 year. You could add age, and there's additional filters if you don't see what you want. For example, if article type isn't showing all of these types, or you want to add one that you don't see there, if you go to additional filters under article type, you'll see there's a lot of options, and you can add whatever one looks good. You can add it here, click show, and then it'll show up here in your list, and then you could check it and apply it to your search. For example, if you only want to look at systematic reviews, now we only have 63 results, and it's telling us our filter was applied. In case you want to take it off, this is the place you would do that. You could also see some of them say free article. Those are the ones that I was telling you about earlier that will be free even if you don't have library access or subscription access. But these ones that don't say free, you should still be able to get most of them through the library. Again, if you have libkey downloaded, click download PDF here. If you don't, click this HSC link, and then it should go through the library and check access and get to a page like this where you can either go to the article online or download the PDF. So if we just wanted to look online and read it real quick, we could click there. We don't have to download it. And it's asking me to log in again, which is fine. And there you go. So then we could still download it from here or just read the article from here. So let's go back to those results page. So this view has a lot of great information. You can see which journal the article was in. If you hover over it, you see it will give you the full title. You can see the authors. You can read an abstract. Most of them have an abstract here to read, some don't. You can scroll down and look at similar articles that maybe didn't come up in your search, and also cited by. This article was cited by these other articles, and there's also the MESH terms, which are the medical subject heading terms applied to this article. And those are links. So if you wanted to search PubMed for one of these, you could click on it and it would give you some options to either search in PubMed or search in MESH, where you could read about that MESH term. But if you click search in PubMed, it will take you to that search. I'm going to go back to our search here, this results page, because I want to show you under the actions button, there's a cite button. So if you just wanted to do a quick citation, grab a quick citation of this article, you can click cite and make sure that you change the format to whatever format you are using, possibly APA or AMA, but make sure you click the right one. And then from here, you can just click copy, and it's copied to our clipboard. We could then paste it into a document or an email or something like that. So that's a nice quick way to make a citation. There's also a PMID, which is the unique number PubMed has given this article. So if you copy and paste any PMID and put it into the search, you could send that number to someone and they could paste it in and get the same article. It would come to this page. So it's a nice way for sending and receiving articles. There's also a DOI, which is the Digital Object Identifier. It's a unique set of numbers, letters, and characters given to online articles. And it's often put in the citation, as you can see here. It's at the end of the citation. It's just an easy way to find an article with a unique identifier. You can also click on the journal title, which is an acronym, but you can see it's a link. So if you wanted to search more articles in this journal, PubMed lets you click here to search in PubMed here. So then you can see all the articles from that journal. So if we go back to our search results page here, you can see that we've only applied the one filter, the systematic review filter. So we can decide to leave that, or if we want to take it off, we could do clear all. And now we're back to our original results. We could limit it by year. Let's say the past 10 years. That's 913 results. And we did have a filter for adults, and it is possible to limit by adults if you want to, but I would not recommend it unless you're getting way too many results. And that's just because unless an article is specifically labeled or indexed with adult only, it's not going to come up. It'll be missed if you put that index, if you put that filter on there. So unless it's really necessary and you're getting way too many articles, I would just suggest leaving that filter off. Because even so, for example, if you're looking for children only, it's more likely something will be labeled as child only in an article, but to be labeled as adult isn't as common, and they often don't label that. So just leave it off to get a better list of results. You can also change the sort order of your results. So the default is best match. So right now that's how they're sorted. So you can see 2021, this one's not the most recent, but it is what PubMed believes to be the best match to our search. But you could sort it by publication date, which I would recommend over most recent, because most recent can also include articles that were recently added to PubMed, even if they weren't recently published. So if you do publication date, then you're going to get a list by actually the publication date, not just recently added to the database. So you could click on that, and now it's going to be sorted by most recent first. And if you come across an article that you can't get access to, remember that you can use interlibrary loans. So for example, let's say we want this article. Okay, now again, we can click this HSC link, or access options will take us to the same place, depending on whether you have libkey nomad installed or not. So let's say we click on the link, we want to get the full text. We get to a page that looks like this. So if you've already got your Iliad or interlibrary loan account set up, which I recommend you do, then you'll be able to easily request it. So you can check, it's already got, as you can see, it's already got the information entered in here, so you can check and make sure it's accurate. Sometimes, you can always add the PMID if you want, or the page numbers, or the DOI. And I usually leave this date. And then you click I agree and submit request, and it will request it for you. Now, if you need help with the interlibrary loan process, we have another video on that in this list. So that's the overview of PubMed. And if you want more resources for tutorials, videos, I'm going to go back to the guide here, and you can see we have this LibGuide here, which is going to have a lot of tips and more information about PubMed. There's also some guides. If you go to the PubMed homepage here, they have some learning resources, user guide about PubMed, tutorials here that you can also look at. So the next thing we're going to talk about is CINAHL, which is our next database, and you can click on the next video to watch that one.